All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about somewhat harmless things most of the time and doing it in real time for a few real people out here just like you and just like me. So, Sammy Hagar has made more money off tequila than he has as a musician making money off of music, according to this article that Tony the Internet Tiger sent me. He is just a symbol now, much like Prince over on Patreon. He's the guy formerly known as Tony, and he's got a little tiger as his symbol. Of course, I gave him that name. So if you're over on Patreon, you want to make fun of Tony. By the way, joining Patreon is really easy. You can do it for like $1 a month, $2 a month, and it helps the channel because right now I am about 80 something thousand subscribers lower than I was just a few short months ago. So, anyway, just putting that out there. So, Sammy Hagar says if I had said no to $80 million, that's how much money he's made from tequila. Somebody would have committed me to a hospital like he needs psychiatric treatment. So, yeah, he's made lots more money. That's why he wears T-shirts that say, "But first, tequila." Of course, he had a song called "Mas Tequila," right? So he's all in with the tequila. People forget about Montrose. I did. I didn't even know about Montrose when I first got into music, and I remember a friend sharing. I think it was Space Station #5 with me, and I was like, "Wow." Sammy was really crazy in those days. I mean, that was some good stuff. And then I'm pretty sure Chickenfoot performed that song when I got to see them. I don't know how many years ago now, 14 years ago, something like that. Anyway, Hagar says he didn't make much money in the early 70s with his first major band, Montrose, despite the band's self titled debut album being hugely influential. Maybe Montrose should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame since they were hugely influential. And of course, they go on to talk about Hagar being the singer in Van Halen and being very successful, having four #1 studio albums with Van Halen, but to no avail. The tequila paid better. Um, in fact, all of it was peanuts compared to the money that Hagar made from his own brand of tequila named Cabo Wabo. What Hagar successfully did here, though, is he piggybacked off of his rock stardom. And I think people like Kid Rock do that. There are a number of people who are basically a brand unto themselves at a certain point, and they make lots of money. People know who they are, and then they have their own brand of something, and people all have to have it, whether it's tequila, whiskey, or I don't know, potato chips, maybe not. Um, so he said when the offer first came in for about $60 million, this was when he sold his tequila company. And that was after taxes. I just thought, I love this company. It's making a ton of money, more than I was making in Van Halen ever. Why would I want to sell? But then I said, okay, how much will it take? I told them, and they went up to $80 million. So they gave him 20 million more than he was asking for. He says, if you're only in it for the money, then you'll never be satisfied because money does not satisfy you. It's a trip seeing something grow from a seed to a full. But wait a minute, you'd be committed to a psychiatric ward for not taking the $80 million. But then he's saying it's not about the money. He says a bunch of money in a bank is not fulfilling unless you go count it every day. I don't know. I think money is a good thing. Money is a good thing. It's not everything, but it is a good thing, he says. I already have a house in Hawaii, a house in Mexico. See, I always wonder reading this stuff when rock stars complain about things. Like, what are they complaining about? He says, my main residence is in California. I have 5 Ferraris, E-Type Jags, Aston Martins, and old muscle cars. Yeah, that's a tough life, folks. That's really tough. But he does say that it's not fulfilling. Maybe the stuff is more fulfilling. So when all that money came in, I was like, what am I going to do with this? So I gave millions and millions of dollars away to my family. Now, why wasn't my last name Hagar? Wonder if Sammy could buy back my old YouTube channel. Maybe. Probably not, though. He says, I gave all my band members big bonuses and I started a foundation to help kids. That's cool. That's really cool. Hagar said that his success with the tequila brand was no fluke. He says, I hate to brag about it, but he's bragging. But I do have a great palate. I can taste and smell certain wines, and I can tell you what grape it is. I can probably tell you if it's a Smucker's jelly or like the store brand. It's about I do not drink wine. But if there's bad wine, I won't drink. I don't drink to get drunk. Now, a lot of people who have been sending me messages lately about Sammy, they've been complaining that Sammy is still drinking at his age, which I think he's what, 76 or 77 years old, something like that. He says, I'm lucky I know when to stop with anything, and some people don't. My father died an alcoholic at an early age of 56. Wow. It took him all the way to the ground. Now, if Sammy is still around, which he is, then maybe he does do things in moderation. But people have been sending me these messages. He's out there drinking. He's setting a bad example. I don't know. I'm going to go with the libertarian view on this. I don't drink because I don't think it's healthy. It just isn't. I mean, but some people believe having a glass of, red wine every so often is good for you. And there are studies that say it can be beneficial. But then there are other studies that say the same stuff that's in the wine you can get, via a supplement or whatever. But it's good that we still have Sammy Hagar, and he's not a drunkard, and he's made a ton of money off of tequila. But, is that a moral thing to make money off of tequila? I don't know. I mean, alcohol has been around for quite some time, and it's been the downfall of many. But a lot of people have learned to either live with it or admit that they have a problem and just say, nope, I can't do this anymore. And they get help, and they get clean, and they get sober, and then they get more creative. Stevie Ray Vaughan, toward the end of his life, had sobered up, and pretty much everybody you talked to was saying that Stevie Ray Vaughan, when he died, he was the best guitarist on planet Earth. And he was playing at a level that just dumbfounded people like Eric Clapton, Robert Cray, the people that were around Stevie Ray at that time. They're like, yeah, this guy's the best. He just is. And he was. He was, in my humble opinion, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Clapton. Those guys are just at the top. And even today, Eric is still pretty good, right? Yeah, Eric is really good. But Stevie Ray, I love Stevie Ray Vaughan. And he was clean and sober when he passed away. So in any event, people would question the existence of God at that point. Like, why would you take Stevie Ray when he was doing so well at that moment? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But a lot of things don't make sense, and you just have to push on. You don't understand it, but you have to keep moving. So in any event, folks, Sammy Hagar making more money off tequila than anything else. Good for him, or is it something you shouldn't be promoting out there? Is it bad? Is it bad to sell alcohol to everybody? Some people don't have the self-control that Sammy Hagar apparently has. Anyway, before I go, a couple of things. Comments are on. All right? Comments are on, but they are heavily monitored and regulated and filtered. All right? And that is a process that I hate, by the way. It's like going to the dentist when you don't have to, or even when you do have to. So if you're going to leave comments, I would leave nice comments. All right. I would leave happy comments. If your intention is to leave a nasty comment or something that just doesn't make sense or is addressing something that has nothing to do with the video being posted, I would refrain from making that comment. All right? Just putting it out there. I've decided to allow this. I didn't before on the other channel. I had 82,000 subscribers over there, and I didn't have the comments on. So I have what, 25, 20, I don't know how many, maybe 2,700 now. It's going up. It's going up fairly quickly, but I'm not even watching because it's a drop in the bucket. And I'm praying that it grows and people find the channel, because apparently people think that, the CIA did something, or, you know, yeah, something did happen, but I'm still here. So I know for some of you that's disappointing, but I continue to do this because guess what? I found out, I went to Walmart. They won't hire me. I have no experience being a greeter. Last time I did retail, that was like 30 something years ago. So I don't have any recent experience, and they have all those positions filled right now. But they'll call me. They'll call me if they decide they're going to change their mind. So yeah, here I am. So that means you've got to put up with me. So thanks for those who do put up with me and don't mind what I do each day. I do receive some positive comments, mostly from patrons. So if you'd like to become a patron to help the channel, you can do that, or YouTube memberships, buy me a coffee. You can send me a message. It's fun when I get a nasty message that someone has paid for. That's really interesting. That shows that you're determined, right? You're going to get your point across, and you're going to make sure that I know about it. And super chats have been enabled. I've got one patron in particular who pretty much comments on a lot of the things, or most things that I do, who's a very nice person who sends me super chats. But so far, it's just one person, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm just fortunate to be above ground and still breathing and still doing this. It's been 8 years since I started doing this, and I'm just going to be honest, starting all over again wasn't in the plan for 2024 or 2025, but here we are, so we just keep going. Thanks again. God bless everyone. Please pray for all those people in need all over the country who have suffered because of natural or even unnatural disasters, conspiracies. Yeah, I mean, everything's plausible when it comes to what's been happening out there. But pray for those people. Doesn't really matter how it happened. It happened, and so people need help. A local church where I live caught on fire last night, and now a whole bunch of kids don't have a school to go to. So, yeah, life can be difficult.